Afternoon all, it's the Satesman here, small van driver on the 6, it's Christmas Eve. You'll have to excuse me, feeling pretty groggy at the moment, got a virus, which cut short my week. Wife's got a really poorly virus, in fact she's got tablets for pneumonia, she's in bed. So we've had a pretty crappy couple of few days since Tuesday really. But wife's a bit of improvement today, still in bed, but hopefully going to get her up later on today. Feel like a bit of shit myself, but I think it's a virus. Tested for COVID and all that. No, it's just a virus going around. Two daughters had it as well. So, but got the rest of the week, next week to get over it because I'm not working next week, so I should be back okay. Um, Looking back on the week, yeah, I did that Saturday job, so that got me £95, which I put towards this week's takings. But started Monday, and I booked a job Northampton to Dunstable, which was a boiler. I've done quite a few boiler jobs for people, and they're so relieved when they get them because they know they're going to get hot water. The plumber's waiting for them to fit it, and after 2 or 3 weeks of that hot water and heating, when you see a bloke turn up with a boiler, you tend to be their favourite person. So, took a boiler down to Dunstable. That was all no problem, and then I picked a job up from Biggleswade to Rotherham. Jobs were going. The feeder's been busy. It's been mega busy December. I got a job from Biggleswade to Rotherham. What? It's a little bit further out than I wanted to go, but it was still early in the morning, and it was a block of steel. And when I mean a block of steel, it was 350 kilogram block of steel, and it was a steel plate. It wasn't much more than about 2 foot by about that high on a pallet, and they had to push the pallet right on, so it was right up against the front of the van to level it out. And it was fine, but it was just one small, humongous, heavy block of steel. Got good money on that. Going up to because it's been good money all week on every job, to be honest. Yeah, you put the pence per mile is going up because shippers need the work doing for Christmas. And before I got to Rotherham, there was a job on there from Rotherham to Peterborough, and I thought if I could get that, but the times are going to be tight. So what I did, I phoned the shipper up on the last job and said, look, I can do the job in Rotherham to Peterborough, but I may be 10, 15 minutes late on your time. Is it still worth me quoting? And they said, yeah, quote on it and let us know how you get on. I said what I was going to quote. They says, yeah. They says, we've only had one quote and it was way higher than that. And I was quoting quite big money. But back to Peterborough is only 30 miles from my house. So they says, but we really need to pick it up ASAP. I said, well, I'll let you know when I'm tipped. And if you've got someone else or you want, give it to someone else. And I tipped all right, even though it was a big block of steel. Yeah, they got a forklift out, got it sorted. And I phoned the other company up. No, they phoned me up and says, how are you doing on the job you're on? I said, I'm just tipped. I says, and I've just looked how far away from yours and I'm 15 minutes. They said, great, we'll send it over. And they did. So I got a Rotherham and it was steel again. Steel pieces again. Um, it was a box and two or three other shafts. Not heavy though, about 70 kilos. So we picked that up and we took that back to Peterborough. And that was my day done. I was done for the day. I got over target by a good bit. I'd done two long jobs and a medium job. So I'd done all right. And I'd worked just under 12 hours. Done 327 miles that day. So it was a good day. Only had 30 odd miles, dead miles. I had dead miles from Dunstable to Biggleswade. And that was about it. Anyway, I booked a job in for Tuesday. Monday, I try and get a job booked in every morning if I can. This was a JCB job from Daventry to JCB. It don't say JCB on it, but ST14. So I quoted on it. I quoted very high because I'm 25 miles from Daventry. So I quoted on it, including my 25 miles, I quoted on it decent money. And I thought, perhaps I won't get it if someone in Daventry would do it cheaper than that. But I got a phone call about 5 o'clock saying, are you okay to do this job tomorrow? I said, I am, yeah. I said, it is JCB. She said, yes, it is. She said, but you should be okay. It's a small van. Normally there's like a post room or you can, dispatch it. So I thought, let's see how we get on. I thought I'm quoting really good money on it. see what happens. And I picked it up from Daventry, and it was 11 boxes, 9 boxes. They're quite largish boxes, and they were bearings. And it was to the JCB hub. And I thought, I'll still perhaps better get these off. Anyway, turned up at JCB, straight in, went in the office as normal. And she said, yeah. She didn't give me a buzzer. I thought, oh, could be good. I says, do you still drop stuff? She says, oh, she'll tell you over there. So I went to the other window, give my paperwork, and she said, go to bay 9. I says, all right. I says, it's no good going to the post. No, they've got to go to bay 9. I went, okay. So she said, you've been here before? I said, yes. She gave me a map anyway, and I went to security, like you do. It's a bit of a rigmarole, but I thought, well, I'm going straight in. I ain't buzzard, and the car park was full. Big vans, trucks, and I went in. And I went to the wrong bay. I went to bay 11, because I just presumed everything went the same goods in. I'm at the wrong bay. I'm at bay 11. Bay 9 is a specialist bay where they take bearings. Stupid me, I hadn't even looked at the map. So the bloke says, you may have to go all the way out and all the way around again. I went, you are joking. I says, I'll have to get in the queue again. And he says, let me just ask. He says, I'll tell you what, follow me. So in his forklift, he took me through a tunnel, back round, so I didn't have to go back round, back out again. So that saved me a bit. Got to bay 9, which is around the building. It's marked. And there was a lorry, a 7.5 ton lorry being unloaded. Then there was a transit van in front of me, custom, and then me. And you have to sit in a queue. It didn't take long. It was only about 15 minutes, that was, all that, to get it unloaded. Got stamped paperwork, and I was out the door. 35 minutes, and I think that's pretty good for JCB when you have to go in. I'd take that every time if they did that. It'd be easier putting it in the box on the post room, but they weren't having it because they were specialist bearings. Anyway, pulled out of there, and I thought, I'm going to park up, and there's a services. You go back down to the A50, just across. I think it's Utoxis to services, but it's a nice little services. I thought, I'll go and sit here and see what I'm going to do. And I worked first. And I was beginning to feel a bit iffy anyway. I weren't 100%, but I thought, well, let's see what I can get. And a job popped up from Donington, which I presume was going to be the airport, going to Cambridge. And it was this side of Cambridge, between Cambridge and Huntingdon. And I thought, well, it's a good distance. I'll quote this money on it. Good money again, because I'd got to travel 20 odd mile to get to Donington Services from where I was. So I quoted that in as well. And I got a phone call saying, are you okay to do that job? It won't be ready for another hour. Which suited me because I've got to travel to Donington. And I says, right. He said, you're meeting a driver, my driver, and you're taking off samples and taking it to Cambridge. He said, I'll send you a photo where you're going. It was all easy enough. He told me driver, give me the driver's name, his phone number. I said, well, I'll make way to Donington. I'll be there early. I'm going to use the facilities, get something to eat. I says, and when he turns up, I'll ring him. Well, I got there and I was meant to meet him between 1 and 1:15. And I got a phone call at 12:30, and I was just in the services. The van was parked right at the top of the services. I walked down his toilet, and it was his driver. And he says he's going to be there 1:45. So that was even better. So I was happy with that. And he was there at 1:45. I've got a steady old drive to Cambridge. Traffic was horrendous. Really heavy traffic, but took the 4 samples. That's all they were, to a bioscience lab this side of Cambridge. Well, this side of Cambridge. I haven't been to this one before, but easy to find and job done. And with that, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to drive home. I weren't really fussed about. I weren't staying out. I didn't feel brilliant, 100%. And I thought, you know what, I'll just chill out and drive home, which is what I was going to do, which is what I've done. Yep, it was a lot of dead miles. It was about 45 dead miles, but I weren't fussed. I just want to be home. But I didn't feel too bad. So my wife was feeling a little bit poorly. She hadn't got any work. She was not working, so she went to bed early. And I got a phone call. There was a job that popped up from Northampton going to Cambridge. I thought, oh, I'm back to Cambridge again. I thought, well, I'll do it. And it was like floor sample, floor signs. There were signs. And they were going to Cambridge, right near Cambridge Services. There's the other side of the M11. There's a what do we call it? business park. And I picked these services up from an Access Self Storage. Got the codes, and I got there and picked them up 8 o'clock. It said pick up 8:30 they opened, but I know they open early. There's a security guard on earlier. I went in at 8 o'clock. He opened the gate, and I give him the codes, and he says, "I think these are." I then phoned the shipper, not the shipper, the customer whose job it was, because he got a phone and when any problems, phone him. Said to make sure I'd got the right ones. He says, "Is there 11 of them? They're flat." I said, "There is." I said, "And they got the right address on?" He said, "Yeah, they're definitely the ones." He said, "The security bloke should know anyway." He says, "The bloke on," but he weren't. It was the night bloke. So we got them. And we're off to Cambridge. And it was to a business park. It was to a Goods Inwards. And they were signage things, sample signs they were going to be trying. So that was easy enough. And I weren't feeling that crap. I thought, I'm going down with this lurgy. I know I am. I was half tempted just to drive home. Should I just drive home? I'm only 35, 40 miles from home. And a job on there was from Huntingdon to Alford. And Alford is near Mablethorpe in Lincolnshire. And it had been posted 3 times. And it was 80 mile all in from where I was. And I thought, you know what? I feel crap, but I don't feel too crap to drive. Should I just put one big bid on it? If I get it, I'll just put they won't get rid of this. And I put enough money on it. I worked out how much it's going to get me home, how many miles to get home as well. Added them all together and put a good pence per mile on the whole lot, and put that down and got it because no one was going to go to this place. It was the middle of nowhere, but I put enough money on it to drive home and still be okay for my money. With my first job, good pence per mile, it paid me, and I got it. It was one box. It was pick up from buy box in Huntingdon. One box going to a like a DIY distribution place. Well, it was only a little DIY branch in Alford, 7 miles short of Mablethorpe. And I dropped that and I turned around. I thought I'd just drive back. Drove back through Boston, phoned my wife up. She's in bed, not very well. I feel pretty crap. And I thought, do you know what? That's me done. I thought I'll go home and that's it. I was home at 3. I was at home at 3. Wife was in bed, not feeling particularly well. She's got it on her chest, so we knew she'd had pneumonia before, and we thought, oh shit. But managed to get some drugs, some antibiotics, because they're not going to take her in hospital. So, and I says, you know what? I'm just done. That's me done. I felt rough, and that was me done. Uh, Home, feeling pretty crap, but when you're home, you feel a lot better once you're in your own house. And that was my week done. I did 3 days. Uh, Thursday didn't work, felt rough. Got some work, got the wife antibiotics, and just really didn't do a lot. I stayed in bed most of the day. And Friday yesterday, I was up, got a shower. We did a little bit of shopping. We were meant to be out last night around his daughter and son-in-law's because it's his birthday, and we had a bit of Christmas do. We obviously didn't go, and daughter come round, picked all the presents up for the kids for Christmas Day because I don't think there's no way we're going there. So that was about all. And today we're doing now. I've been and delivered a couple of cards and got some hanging baskets I put up for my auntie who's sort of housebound so she can see them out the window. And that was it. Got some fuel for the van, not my van, the El Grand, and home. And I feel a bit better today. Feel not too bad. Had something to eat. Wife's had something to eat as well this morning, which is good. She feels slightly better. And hopefully we're going to have Christmas Day at home on our own tomorrow anyway. So, and then we'll see how we go from there. So all in all, mileage. I did 955 miles, including the little Saturday job I did last Saturday. I've counted that in on it. I did 32 hours over the 4 days. One was only half a day. Saturday was 4 hours. I did 25 hours driving, and I got £707, which is average of 75 pence. Just, well, 74, between 74 and 75 pence every mile. And I did a lot of dead miles. I did the Mablethorpe, that was 90 miles dead. Yeah, did a fair few dead miles, but that was my choice. Fuel prices are still really low, so you can afford to do a bit of dead miles. 50 miles costs you about £6. 7 quid, sorry. So it costs you £7. So you're not to worry too much. And that's me done now. The way I'm feeling, I'm probably not going to work at all between Christmas and New Year. I didn't last year. I may, if something comes up and I feel all right, if it's a wait and return or it's somewhere I think I'm going to quote enough to get me home as well. So what I do, if there's a job that's 50 miles away, I'll double it, 100, because that's getting home. Times it may by, I don't know, 80 pence, 85 pence. So for a 50-mile job for them, I'll probably quote 85 quid. And if they want to go for that, then I'm getting 85p per mile. But I'm not that fussed. It's got to be something decent. If it's got to be a long distance one with wait and return. And if not, they start again after the new year. So, they were the figures. I've got loads of subscribers, over 500. I think it's 540 something. Hope you all have a really good Christmas. Have a loads of time, family time, friends. Enjoy yourself. Try not to get the lurgy like I have. But we'll be back. And everyone else, have a good time. Have a great Christmas. Hope you get everything you wish for. And we're back at it again. I may do a video between Christmas and New Year, depending what I've got on there. But if not, have a good New Year as well. First rugby game is New Year's Day for us against Harlequin, so that's what we're planning to get ourselves ready so we can go to that. Hopefully we're all fit and well. And then we start work again after the New Year. So, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to one and all. Cheers.